Your cat just destroyed your chair. You screamed, no. She blinked and did it again. There's a reason for that, and today I'm going to fix it. The fundamental truth. Here is the truth that is going to completely change how you see your cat's behavior. Ready? Your cat has absolutely no idea she did anything wrong. None. Zero. Not a shred of guilt, not a flicker of regret. Because from her perspective, she didn't do anything wrong. Cats do not have a moral compass the way humans do. When your cat scratches furniture, she is not being evil. She is not plotting against you. She is not trying to ruin your morning. She is following instincts that have been hardwired into her DNA for thousands of years. Scratching is normal. Jumping on things is normal. Knocking stuff off shelves is normal. It is all completely normal cat behavior. This changes everything about how you should respond. Because when you yell at her, hit her, or spray her with water, here is the one thing she actually learns. You are scary and unpredictable. That is it. Research consistently shows that punishment destroys trust without changing the behavior. Your cat simply cannot connect your anger to something she did 3 seconds ago, let alone 3 minutes ago. So if yelling does not work, spraying does not work, and scolding does not work, what does? That is exactly what the rest of this video is about. But first, we need to answer the most common question every cat owner asks. Do cats understand no? Does your cat actually understand the word no? This is the question I get asked more than any other. And the honest answer is no. Absolutely not. Cats do not process human language the way dogs do. The word no means nothing to them. You could say banana or Tuesday in the exact same firm tone and get the same result. But here is where it gets genuinely fascinating. While cats do not understand words, they are genius level at recognizing patterns. And that distinction is everything. If you say no in the same firm voice every single time, use the exact same body language, physically move your cat away from what she is doing, and redirect her to something appropriate. And you do this consistently, without exception, every time the behavior happens, her brain will start making a connection. Not to the word, but to the pattern. Over several weeks, that sound becomes a reliable signal that says, whatever I'm doing right now is about to stop. That is not language comprehension. That is pattern recognition. And cats are very, very good at it. This is why consistency is the most important factor in training a cat. It is not volume. It is not anger. It is not persistence. It is consistency. The same response, to the same behavior, every single time. Once you understand that, the whole game changes. How to say no effectively. Okay? Here is the technique. The one that actually works. And I want you to stick with me through this, because one part of it is going to sound completely ridiculous, but there is a very powerful reason behind it. Step 1. Say no, firmly, not loudly, not with rage, just firm and clear. Think of it like how a calm authority figure speaks, certain, controlled, and impossible to ignore. Step 2. Make direct eye contact. Lock your gaze on her. You want her full attention on you before anything else happens. Step 3. And this is the one people laugh at before they try it. Hiss at her. Yes, hiss. Like a cat. I know. I know how that sounds. But listen to the logic. Cats communicate disapproval and boundaries to each other through hissing. When a mother cat hisses at her kitten, that kitten freezes instantly. It is not learned behavior. It is biological programming that has been baked into cats for thousands of years. When you hiss, you are speaking their language. You are using a sound that bypasses their brain's confusion and hits something instinctive. Step 4. Point your finger directly at her. Step 5. Make yourself physically bigger. Stand tall, widen your stance, square your shoulders. This multi-sensory combination, your voice, eye contact, the hiss, the pointing, your posture, hits her from every angle at once. It is far more effective than shouting a word she does not understand. Try it tonight, genuinely. The first time you do it, you will probably feel ridiculous. Your cat will probably freeze and stare at you like you've lost your mind. That is exactly what you want. Why no alone doesn't work. Even if you nail the technique perfectly every time you are in the room, there is still a massive problem that most owners never figure out. And it is the reason your cat keeps doing the same thing 5 minutes after you correct her. You only correct her when you are watching, which means she is not learning, this behavior is bad. She is learning something much more specific. This behavior is bad when my owner is standing, right there. That is a completely different lesson. And it is why you walk back into the kitchen and find her on the counter again, immediately after you just told her not to. The same problem applies to spray bottles. One of the most popular cat training tools out there, and one of the least effective. Your cat does not learn the counter is off limits. She learns the human with the spray bottle is someone to avoid. So she waits. She waits until you are asleep, or in the shower, or at work. And then she does exactly what she wants, because the counter itself has never given her any reason not to. This is not your fault. Nobody teaches us this stuff, but now that you know it, you can fix it. And the fix, which I am about to show you, works even when you are not home, not watching, and not even in the same building. The environmental correction. The method that works when you're not there is called environmental correction, and it is built on one very clever idea. Make the location itself the thing your cat wants to avoid, not you. Let me give you the most effective examples. If your cat keeps jumping on the kitchen counter, place a motion-activated air spray right there. The moment she lands on it, it goes off. A short burst of air, harmless but startling. She does not think, my owner caught me. She thinks, the counter attacked me. You are not even in the room. Your relationship stays completely positive. But she now has a very strong, very direct reason to avoid that counter permanently. For furniture scratching, double-sided tape is remarkably effective. Cats absolutely hate the sensation of sticky surfaces on their paws. 1 or 2 experiences with it, and they will not go near that spot again. Aluminium foil works similarly. The texture and sound when they land on it is something most cats instinctively want nothing to do with. If your cat chews wires or nibbles on plants, bitter apple spray is your solution. It is completely safe and non-toxic, but the taste is so unpleasant that cats will avoid anything coated in it without hesitation. A few applications and the problem usually disappears on its own. The brilliance of all these methods is that the negative experience is tied directly to the place or the object, not to you. Your cat never associates the consequence with your presence, so your bond, your trust, your relationship stays intact, and the behavior stops whether you are watching or not. Before you discipline. Before you reach for any correction tool or technique, I want you to stop and ask yourself one honest question. Is my cat actually misbehaving? Or is she just being a cat without anywhere appropriate to put that energy? Because here is what most people never consider. Cats have biological needs that do not go away just because you find them inconvenient. Scratching is one of the best examples. Your cat is not scratching your furniture to ruin it. She is scratching because she needs to maintain her claws, stretch her muscles, and mark her territory through the scent glands in her paw pads. That need does not disappear when you say no. If there is no scratching post available, your armchair becomes her only option. The solution is not better discipline. The solution is a scratching post. The same logic applies to counter jumping. If your cat constantly tries to get up high, she is not defying you. She is following the instinct to observe her territory from an elevated position. Place a tall cat tree near the kitchen, give her that height in an acceptable place, and the counter problem often disappears entirely without a single correction. If your cat obsessively drinks from the faucet instead of her bowl, that is also instinct. Moving water is naturally safer than still water. Evolution taught her that. A cat water fountain gives her running water in an appropriate place and usually ends the faucet habit immediately. Here is the point. Address the underlying need first. Provide appropriate outlets for the natural behaviors your cat is trying to express. Do that, and you will find that the vast majority of problems simply vanish, with no training required. Litter box problems. Litter box issues need their own section because they are fundamentally different from everything else we have talked about, and treating them as a behavior problem is one of the most common and damaging mistakes cat owners make. If your cat suddenly starts urinating or defecating outside the litter box, do not discipline her. Go to the vet. Immediately. Litter box problems are almost always medical, not behavioral. Urinary tract infections, kidney disease, diabetes, bladder stones, all of these conditions cause cats to avoid the box because they are experiencing pain during elimination. And because the pain happens in the box, they start associating the box itself with that pain. They are not being difficult. They are trying to get away from something that hurts. Once medical causes have been ruled out, then you look at environmental factors. Cats are genuinely fastidious creatures. A litter box that has not been scooped will be abandoned. Some cats refuse specific litter textures entirely. If the box is in a high-traffic, noisy area, your cat will feel too vulnerable to use it comfortably. And if you have multiple cats, they need multiple boxes. The standard recommendation is 1 box per cat, plus 1 extra. Get these basics right, and most litter box problems resolve themselves. Try to correct the behavior without addressing the cause, and nothing will change. The sudden aggression warning. This next section is important. Please pay close attention to it, because mishandling this situation can cause real harm. Your normally calm, sweet, affectionate cat bites you hard. Without warning, without provocation, seemingly out of nowhere. Your instinct might be to correct her, isolate her, or assume something has gone wrong, behaviorally. But sudden aggression in a previously gentle cat is almost never a behavior problem. It is almost always a sign of physical pain. Cats instinctively hide illness and injury. It is a survival mechanism inherited from their wild ancestors. When you touch an area that is causing pain, they respond defensively and explosively. Dental disease, arthritis, internal injuries, hyperthyroidism in older cats, even brain tumors can all cause sudden, dramatic personality changes. A cat that bit you without warning yesterday may have been in serious pain without you knowing it. Do not punish. Do not isolate. Get a complete veterinary examination with full blood work as soon as possible. In many cases, once the underlying pain is identified and treated, the aggression disappears entirely. Why cats don't listen? Here is the question I hear constantly, and it is usually said with real frustration. My cat clearly understands what I am saying. She looks right at me. She knows. So why does she just ignore me anyway? The answer is evolution. And once you understand it, it stops being maddening and starts being genuinely interesting. Cats evolved as solitary hunters, not as pack animals. Dogs evolved in social structures with hierarchies and leadership roles, which is why they have a deeply ingrained instinct to follow, please, and obey an authority figure. Cats did not. Their survival never depended on cooperating with others or deferring to a leader. Their brains simply did not develop that way. So when you give your cat a command and expect her to comply because you are the owner, You are essentially asking her to follow a social instinct she does not have. This is why positive reinforcement is so extraordinarily powerful with cats. When your cat uses her scratching post instead of your furniture, reward her immediately with a treat, with praise, with whatever she loves most. Her brain releases dopamine. That creates genuine pleasure. And she will want to repeat the action that caused that pleasure. That neurological loop creates lasting behavioral change far more effectively than any punishment ever could. Work with her nature instead of against it. That is the entire secret. The timing problem. Even if you have the right technique, the right environment, and the right mindset, there is one more critical factor that can make everything fall apart: timing. Cat brains can only connect cause and effect if the consequence happens within 2 to 3 seconds of the behavior. That window is not a guideline. It is a hard limit. Outside of it, there is no connection, no learning, no change. This is why coming home to discover your cat knocked over a plant and then scolding her accomplishes absolutely nothing. From her perspective, you just became inexplicably upset for no reason. She cannot link your anger to something that happened hours ago. All she experiences is a confusing, stressful moment with someone she lives with, and it creates anxiety without teaching her anything. This is also exactly why environmental corrections are so effective. The motion-activated spray fires the instant she lands on the counter. The tape sticks to her paw the moment she touches the furniture. There is no delay. The feedback is instant and direct. And that is all her brain needs to make a permanent connection. Why physical punishment fails. I want to spend a moment on physical punishment because it is still shockingly common, and the damage it causes goes far deeper than most people realize. Hitting, smacking, or rough handling a cat does not stop behavior. What it does do is destroy the relationship between you. Cats who are physically punished develop hand shyness. They flinch when anyone reaches toward them, even for affection. They start hiding. They avoid interaction. Some develop defensive aggression, attacking when approached because they genuinely feel threatened. Beyond the relationship damage, physical punishment creates chronic stress. And chronic stress in cats produces real physical consequences. Overgrooming to the point of bald patches, appetite loss, a weakened immune system, and a dramatically reduced quality of life. You are not correcting a behavior. You are making your cat mentally and physically unwell. And here is the final point on this. The behavior does not stop. It goes underground. Your cat continues doing exactly what she was doing, just only when you cannot see her. The behavior becomes hidden. The trust becomes broken. And rebuilding that trust, once it is gone, is an extremely long and sometimes impossible process. It is simply not worth it when there are approaches that actually work. What actually works? So let us pull it all together. Effective cat training is not one single technique. It is a system of elements that must work together. And when you apply all of them consistently, you will see real, lasting change. First, only correct behavior in real time. If you did not catch it happening within 2 to 3 seconds, let it go. Correct in the moment, with firm tone, eye contact, hissing, and body language. Then redirect her immediately to the appropriate alternative. Second, set up environmental deterrence so the location provides consequences even when you are not there. Motion sprays, sticky tape, foil, bitter spray. These make the environment the teacher, not you. Third, meet your cat's natural needs. Scratching posts, cat trees, water fountains, interactive hunting play. Give her appropriate outlets for every natural behavior she is trying to express. Do this and half your problems disappear before any training is needed. Fourth, build a positive reinforcement system. When she does the right thing, reward it immediately. Treat, praise, affection, whatever she values most. Do it fast. Do it consistently, and let that dopamine loop do its work. Fifth, and finally, never use delayed punishment, never rub her nose in anything, and never use physical discipline. These methods cause harm and do not change behavior, and always rule out medical issues before assuming any elimination problem or sudden aggression is behavioral. Your vet is part of your training team.